you have a picky eater in your house? Because I know that I do. And it can be the most frustrating thing ever when you've spent time preparing a meal and the people at the dinner table don't want to even try it. Has this happened to you? Because if it has, then you've come to the right place. In today's video, I have 6 tips for you to help you with your picky eaters. And then stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to show you some specific recipes to try that will please the entire crowd at the table. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. My name is Stacy and I'm a culinary nutrition expert and I have 2 sweet little girls ages 5 and 2. So picky eaters is something that I know way too much about, and it can be super frustrating as not only a mom, but somebody who has studied and values nutrition and knows the importance of eating good and healthy, nourishing foods. And then my children won't eat what I cook. So frustrating. So stick around if any of that sounds familiar to you and your family. My first number 1 huge tip is to make dinner time as non-stressful as possible. Take the focus off of the food and back into what dinner time is supposed to be, or lunchtime, whatever meal we're talking about. Make it fun and about talking to each other about your day and relax. And what I mean by taking the focus off the food is when you sit down to a meal, and if it's like my toddler, she instantly looks at the plate and says, I don't like it. Whatever it is, if she ate it yesterday, if it's her favorite food, or if she's never seen it before, but I'm confident she would like it if she tried it, her first reaction is always, I don't like it. And if my husband and I react to that and give her attention to that, then it's just downhill from there. And then just encourage them to try their food. What you don't want to do is give them rules around the food because kids, they don't like the rules. So it's all in the way you say it. If you sit down and tell them that they have to eat something, if they have to eat their broccoli before they can have dessert, or they have to eat their green beans before they can leave the table, you've set up rules and expectations and stress on your kids. And I know a lot of us were raised that way. I know I was. We had to sit at the table till we were done with certain things. But what if we let them decide for themselves what they wanted to eat based on what we present to them? And I'm going to get into more detail about that in a minute. But the general first point is just make dinner time enjoyable and stress-free and don't focus on the food. And that kind of ties in with my second point. For picky eaters, you want to respect their hunger or lack of appetite. If they are hungry, then they will eat. They might not eat everything you present them with, but if that's the only food on the table and they are truly hungry, they will eat. And when they're full, they will stop. They're actually much better at that than adults. We sit down to a pizza and we might be full after a slice or 2, but we still eat 5 because it's social or fun or it just tastes so good. So we would just want to respect those intuitive hunger cues when they're kids so that they carry that through to adulthood and don't overeat as adults. Tip number 3, have a mealtime schedule. And what I mean by that is try not to let your kids have snacks too close to when you want them to eat the next meal. Now, kids do have smaller stomachs and they do get hungry more often. If your kids are like my kids, they're running around and playing and using a ton of energy. So they do need to eat pretty frequently, and snack is okay, especially if it's a healthy snack. Just make sure it's not close to mealtime. And if you can kind of set their biological clock to eat breakfast at the same time, lunch at the same time, which if they're in school, that's going to be set for you, and then eat dinner at a set time, that will totally help their hunger cues and help them to actually be hungry when it's time to eat. Also, if you limit juice and milk during snack time and stick to just water between meals, that can help them to be hungry when it's time to eat. Number 4, there is nothing worse to a mom than feeling like your kids are hungry or hurt. And in this case, we're talking about hunger. So I hate thinking that my kids are going to bed hungry or that they're starving. And it always feels like they're starving, even though I know they've eaten at other points in the day and I know they will eat when they're hungry. It can be difficult for moms to watch their kids not eat at dinner. So to kind of help you with that, I recommend serving one thing that you know or are pretty sure, because with toddlers it can be hard, one thing you know they will eat. Like have a bread basket. If your toddler's like mine, I know she loves bread. Or a piece of fruit with her meal. I know she will eat the fruit. I know that she will eat chicken nuggets, and I have healthy recipes for chicken nuggets. They don't have to be bad for you. If I know she will eat that, I have that. And then try some new foods, unfamiliar foods, or foods that even she didn't like a week ago, she might like now, because her tastes change all the time. So just keep trying to introduce new foods, but do it slowly. Don't provide a whole new meal and expect them to be excited and try all these new foods unless that's their personality. And number 5, don't be a short order cook. Don't cook the same thing for them 5 nights a week because you know they will eat it. Trust me, they are not going to starve, and you're really setting them up to have a limited palate. You want to encourage them to try new foods, so as adults, they will start to try new food. Now, you may be in a situation where you or your significant other or other kids in the family, older kids, are also picky eaters. And we tend to, as moms, say, well, I know that my husband is not going to eat this broccoli, so I'm going to make him corn or rice or something different that I know he will eat, and then I'm going to ask my kids to eat the broccoli. Well, if they see daddy doesn't have to eat it or mommy doesn't have to eat it, then they are not going to want to eat it. But if they see you and your significant other or other family members at the table trying new foods constantly and being excited about dinner time, then they're going to jump on board most likely. And number 6, my last tip for today, is to make meal times fun and to try to be creative. So what do I mean by that? Well, by fun, what I mean is let them choose a dip. A dip or condiments go a long way. If you want them to eat vegetables or chicken or something they're not really excited about, let them choose a ranch, a barbecue sauce, whatever. They'll eat ketchup. A lot of kids love ketchup. And it's okay if they're dipping their green beans in the ketchup because they're still getting the nutritional value from the green bean. And actually, tomatoes are healthy for you too. I would just encourage you, when you choose your condiments, you can make them yourself. Number 1, you can make your own ranch and ketchup and things, but we're busy moms, and if you don't have time for that, look for low sugar options for those things. In addition to fun dips and things and making food truly interactive, sometimes I like to give them fun things to eat off of or containers to eat with. Like, here's some cute muffin liners, super inexpensive, and they're just cute. And my kids like a lot of little things, so I could put a little fruit, a little vegetable, some chicken nuggets. I keep saying chicken nuggets, but whatever, meatballs, whatever you're serving in these, and they just love them even if they don't love them on a plate. Another thing, some children are sensitive to textures and things touching each other. I know even still now, I don't like my food mixing on my plate. So I have this, for example, is a fun tray, kind of like in the cafeteria, and they love it. They love that the food's not touching, and it's just kind of fun to have different compartments. And my daughter, I recently bought her this lunchbox. For those of you who don't know, we spent a couple years living in Tokyo, and bentos are huge there. And my girls love it because they get a little bit of everything. So this lunchbox is great because it has all these little compartments. Here's one that's perfect for dip. It seals tight so that it doesn't leak. And both of my kids, even when they're eating lunch at home, love it when I put their lunch in a box like this. We also have some thermoses and things with their favorite Disney characters or cartoon characters on it. And when they see that, it's just more fun for them, and they will eat a lot more variety of food when I use these tools than when I just put it on a plain plate. I hope you found those 6 tips to be helpful. I have many more, but I don't want this video to be an hour long. Please feel free to leave a comment below and ask me any questions you have. I'm totally happy to answer. And I also have a Facebook group called Happily Nourished, which is full of busy moms with questions about nutrition, picky eating, eating on a budget, all those things. So if those topics are of interest to you, please join our Facebook group. I'll leave the link below, and in there you can get recipes and support from other mamas. All right, I'm coming to you from the kitchen, and I have my helper, Sophie. Hi, Sophie.
Hi.
Hi. You have to speak up real loud so I can hear you, okay?
Hi.
Oh. And we are gonna just demo a couple different recipes, and they're super, super simple and fast, but it's a way that picky eaters can get a little more nutrition. Are you a picky eater? No, she's a recovering picky eater. Who is a picky eater?
My baby. My sister.
Sister, yes. She's 2 and she hates all food.
Yeah, even noodles.
Even noodles, right. Okay, so we're gonna make a quesadilla. And I'm gonna give you a ton of different options. The key here is to know your child, to know what textures he or she doesn't like, what flavors they don't like, and we can hide a lot of things in a quesadilla. Now, my kids love things that are small. So I found these street taco shells, just little baby shells, right? And we love these. Now you could get corn if you want to be gluten-free. Don't put your mouth on it. I use the mini ones and I find they eat them a lot better. Another tip is to have them help you in the kitchen. And normally I would make a quesadilla on a skillet, but I don't really want her at the hot stove. It's not safe. But you can bake your quesadillas. It's quick and easy. I have the oven. It's heating to 400 degrees, and then these will just bake for 5 to 10 minutes, super fast.
Yeah, like super fast.
Yes. So I'm
just split.
Putting down a tortilla on some parchment paper so it doesn't stick. You can put olive oil on the bottom if you want.
Yeah, whatever you want in your quesadilla.
What do you like in your quesadilla?
I mostly like the cheese, but you need some shredded cheese, and then melt it.
Okay, so we have our shredded cheese. No, I thought you were gonna help me cook.
No.
Sometimes they just help eat. That's okay. Okay, we just want a little bit. You want to try to keep it in the center. Put a little cheese. And then you can add your toppings. Now my kids, I know that they like lettuce, and a step up from lettuce is spinach, which has more nutrition, but they generally don't just eat spinach. You can saute some spinach, or they like the crunch. That's why they like lettuce. So I'm just gonna put some spinach in there. Just a little bit, and I've diced it up pretty fine into ribbons. And it'll hide in the cheese and they won't even notice it. Except that she's right here, so she's gonna know.
Yeah, I see it in there.
You can saute bell peppers and onions, and I've chopped them so small. You probably can't see that. They aren't big fans of bell peppers, but I'll tell you, they eat bell pepper in everything. I put it in my taco meat, I put it in my spaghetti sauce, meatballs, meatloaf, whatever. They eat it and they have no idea.
Yeah, but I can taste the crunchiness.
Exactly. So if we saute it, the onion or the bell pepper, it kind of takes away that bite and they won't notice it.
Yeah, they won't notice any of it.
No.
And this, you put it on there.
Protein. So if you have leftover chicken that you've meal prepped, or rotisserie chicken, that would be great. My kids love chicken. If you have some leftover chicken nuggets, you could chop them up. If you have ground beef, like regular taco meat, you can use that. Or if they're vegetarian, you can use beans. And now some kids don't like the texture of the beans, so you could use refried, or you could just mash some of these up, and then it's more like a hummus texture and they won't notice it.
Yeah, you won't notice any of it until you put it in there.
Right. Okay.
You'll even taste them.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Yes. And another way to sneak some vegetables and things is to use salsa, like a mild salsa. Everything's diced up. Don't get the chunky one, but there is some peppers and onions and tomato in there. And you could put that on, or on the side, like we talked about. They love to dip. You love to dip your food, don't you?
And then, hey, Mom, there's a little pink on your tooth.
Thank you.
It's lipstick.
Oh, hate that when that happens. Then you want to put a little cheese on top of your topping so that it'll stick.
One little sprinkle.
Okay. Have you put any cheese on the quesadilla? No. Okay. Sometimes they just want to be with you in the kitchen. They don't even want to help, and that's fun too. All right, there we go. Put it on. Okay. I'm going to bake it for 5 minutes. Check it, flip it, and 5 more minutes if it needs it. And it'll come out all crispy and cheesy.
I'm just still hungry for cheese.
So here it is. You can see it's nice and crispy on the edges and melted in the middle. So we're gonna put it on a plate. I like to use a pizza cutter. Here, you can help me. To cut my quesadillas. And you can see it's little, so cute. All right. Now the moment of truth. You won't try it? Mama try it?
Yucky.
You didn't even take a bite.
I
I guess she's too full from all the cheese she was eating when we were cooking it. But that's okay. Maybe you're not hungry. Or maybe today she doesn't like quesadillas. Or are you pretending to not like quesadilla?
I'm not pretending. I just don't want to taste new things.
Oh, she doesn't want to taste new things. I think that if she hadn't seen me make it, she would be eating this right now. But she knows there's a couple things in there that aren't her favorite. So you kind of got to know your kids. Sometimes letting them help you kind of backfires because they see everything you're trying to put in. But sometimes it makes them want to eat it more. You just never know. I have some other tricks and tips, some different recipes to share with you, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them in my Facebook group. So you definitely want to join that to get more ideas on picky eaters. Hopefully you'll try this one. Let me know in the comments below if you do and how it goes. Maybe if you have a secret ingredient you like to put in your quesadilla, let me know. I love to hear from you guys.